In the past, we've highlighted a bunch of really good farming locations inside of Diablo Immortal. We've highlighted the Library of Zoltan Kuhl inside of this zone. I really like farming this square. We've also highlighted things over in the southern Dreadlands as well. This one not quite as good, but still a nice area to farm right over here, which is very also close to where you can go to the camp and turn in all your stuff. And of course, Storm Point is also a really nice place to farm, where you kind of just come down here to the keep and you go circles around there as well. But today I'm featuring a new one because a lot of the times the spots that we're talking about that I just shared are taken, especially the library, which is my favorite place to farm. So right now, we're going to be looking at the Domain of Horror inside of the Shasar Sea. You know, we have that portal right there inside of the Domain of Horror. You kind of just jump right on in and you have a nice area that you can just circle farm. Notice it right above. Very simple area. You just run circles and you can get a lot of enemies. We're diving into it right now. A bunch of my friends and I last night from the Scrappy Echoes went in and we just ran circles around this area for approximately 10 minutes. Now, why do I like this area? One, no matter where you are, by the way, we got an elite already. No matter where you are inside of this area, you're in range of your teammates. You're not missing out on any drops. As long as you stay within this zone, this little ring, everyone is going to get everything that drops from everyone's hit. Very nice, good within range. Also, it's not too big. Like the Library of Zoltan Kuhl, you have a nice small area that you don't need to go crazy. You could even potentially put one person in each corner of this zone and just worry about your little quadrant. Here, we were all running around together. They knew I was making a video, so we figured we'd all run together and have some fun for 10 minutes. But ideally, realistically, I would take top right, someone would take top left, then bottom right and bottom left, and we would all be able to clear those out, and then every minute or two run around and collect all the goodies. That's how I personally like to do it. Now, the Domain of Horror is nice because the enemies that you find in here are also very easy to run through. You just throw on your farming build, you burn right through everything, and it all goes down really quickly, really easily. We're also going to notice there's a lot of treasure chests that drop inside of here. As you saw, we got an elite. Treasure goblins will spawn down here as well. And it's just a good, mindless spot to farm. Remember, when we're doing farming, obviously we farm the open world. We have fun and play the game and farm while we're doing things inside of the game. But a lot of times when I'm looking for a place to farm, I'm looking for a place that I could do it without thinking. I'm looking for a place that I could farm kind of when I'm watching TV. I could be farming on the side and double dipping in on my time. And I know that a lot of us do the same. By the way, here are the people in the clan. Opal, I'm Betty White, and Sheer. Actually, I don't know if they're all in. Actually, I think they are all in the clan. But we're all in there. We had a monk. I think we had a necro, another barbarian, myself. Maybe a crusader too, I forget. It doesn't matter what classes they are, it just matters who they are. But again, really nice spot. Now, why else? And another farming tip, I guess, if you are new to farming inside of the game. One thing we're farming for is gold. Two, we're farming for gear that we can break down, turn into scrap materials. Most importantly, we're farming for experience, right? So we can get that experience bar up and progress our character. But I'm personally, not most importantly, but I'm personally farming for monster essence. If I haven't had my at least 3 turn-ins per day, I'm looking for more monstrous essence. That's going to be able to give me those big jumps in progress and XP. Also, it typically gives me a legendary as it sits now. I think I have 1,500 legendary globes that I could utilize for upgrades. So I'm really fine there, at least for how the game sits right now. But I'm always looking for monstrous essence, and it turns out that even after you turn in your 3 monstrous essence per day, if you're farming and you're getting a 4th turn-in, a 5th, a 6th turn-in, it's still worth turning them in because you're getting all of the experience rewards. You're just not getting the extra bonus rewards that'll pop out of the chest after you complete it. So if you're doing experience runs, it's worth turning it in. I personally like to complete my 3, turn in another 1 or 2 on a good day, and then prepare myself with maybe 8, 9, or even another 10. So the next day, I'm ready to turn it in as soon as I wake up in the morning. That didn't happen last night, but that's how I like to typically run it. Additionally, And probably the most importantly, what I'm trying to farm here is I'm always looking for gems, all right? And that's why you want to do this farming in parties of 4. If you're in a party of 4, you have the chance for gems to drop. Talking about normal gems, we're not talking about legendary gems, but normal gems are important for 2 reasons. One, you need them to throw inside of your secondary gear. It's going to give you massive buffs. And as you get more and more and progress more and more through the game, those buffs are going to be more and more important. You're going to be looking good on your legendary gear, and you're going to need some of that legendary gems, and you're going to need some of those secondary gems. They're going to play a big part. But for me, it's all about platinum, baby. I like to, any gems that I get from farming that I can sell, I will sell. My goal is to get a couple of thousand platinum per day. I don't farm multiple accounts. I don't have multiple accounts. I have this barbarian, and I do actually have a monk class that I made. I never actually played it. I just made it with my name so that it's there. But I've never played another account, so I don't farm from other accounts and bring gems into this account to increase my platinum. I just don't like doing it. I really want to focus. I've been that way with all games that I play, by the way. A lot of people, when I would play Rise of Kingdoms, Call of Dragons, they'd have many different accounts, and they would just use all of their accounts, their farm accounts, to give all the resources, whatever those resources were, to the main account for quicker progression. You could do that with gems inside of the game here and with platinum, etc. But I personally, I don't like doing it. I don't want to do it. I want to focus on my main account. And at that point, it makes the game a job rather than doing it for fun. Now, for me, the game is already a job, right? Like, YouTube is my job. So I'm good enough there. I don't want to dive any deeper. So what are we farming for, and why do I love this zone? To recap, the zone is small, easy to go around in circles, or easy to stay in a part of the zone and each of your teammates stay in another. I like it that the bosses, the enemies go down fairly easy over here. We seem to get drops of elites. We get treasure goblins. We get chests that open up for a little bit of bonus rewards as well. Obviously, we get a bunch of blues and yellows in here also. We're looking for monstrous essence, which you can get here, but really you can get that anywhere. We're looking for gems, but you can get that anywhere where you're farming with a group of 4. And it's just a really nice, easy, fun spot. Look, we got a treasure goblin right here. I've always liked the domain of horror, just the idea of it. You know, one of my least favorite zones cosmetically inside of the game is the library. I think it's okay. It's not my favorite. I like the domain of horror visually better, but my favorite place to farm is the library. Now, also worth noting, something I will sometimes do when farming in a group of 4. Depends. If on the top left it shows up that a hidden lair has opened up in my zone, I will sometimes go to that hidden lair and dive into it with the party. Reason for that, it is a little more time consuming, but I'm guaranteeing myself 6 gems. 3 that I could use for my build, and 3 that I could right away sell for platinum. Depends on where I am. If I'm in the library and I have the zone held down, I won't leave that zone because I don't want to give it up for others. If I'm in this zone right here, it's not really farmed like this, the circle farming, I will sometimes leave and go do that because why not? It's not that bad to do. So last night, I pulled out my sharpening stone because I'm big into knives and stuff. And I found this old knife. Check out this old knife right here. This is something that I had. This was my dad's when I was a kid. It's like one of those Swiss Army knives. And I opened it all up. These are so tight. So difficult to like open and close. You have to use your fingernail. And it'll like especially these little ones on this side. You have to use your fingernail and like it like messes up your nail trying to open them. They're so tight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this with WD-40 today. And then like clean it all out inside. Maybe I could get it to work better that way. I don't know. I don't love Swiss Army knives. I like more of like pocket knives and stuff. But being that this was my dad's and you know, growing up and stuff like that, I just always remember him having this knife in his pocket. So it's something that I like to have as well. It even has still, look at this. It even has the toothpick. And more importantly, the tweezers. Never know when you need to pull a tick out when you're out there in the woods. But yeah, I've got a big knife collection. I actually love knives, and I just pulled out the sharpening stone and I said, it's time to start sharpening things up. And I need to get better at sharpening before I start using it on my really good knives, like my bug out and some of those. So maybe one day I'll show you my knife collection. Got a full bin right here of stuff I had as a kid and then some of the knives that I bought now as an adult. But that's where we're farming. We're jumping right back over there now because I had to turn in all of my stuff. And as you see, we jump back in, we go to the team. You could also do follow farming, and if you have to go away for a few minutes, you could lock onto a teammate, hit follow, and you could just follow them around, collecting and maybe even hitting your skills as you go that won't kill the follow. Let me know if you farm here, and if you do, if you try it out for the first time, how it works out for you and what type of great stuff you get. Guys, remember to subscribe to the channel for daily Diablo Immortal videos.